ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। अभ्रमं भंगरहितं मजनं विमलं सदा आनंद तीर्थमतुलं भजे तापत्रयापहं। चित्रै पदैश्च गंभीरे वाक्यैर्मानैर् अखंडितैः गुरु भावं व्यंजयन्ति भाति श्री जयतीर्थवाक्। अर्थकल्पितकल्पोऽयं प्रत्यर्थ गजकेसरी व्यासतीर्थ गुरुर्भूयात् अस्मदिष्टार्थ सिद्धे। जयति श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ समदन गोपालः वक्ष्यामि यस्य कृपया प्रमेय रत्नावलीं सूक्ष्मं भक्त्याभासेनापि तोषं ददाने धर्माध्यक्षे विश्वनिस्तारे नाम्नि नित्यानंदाद्वैत चैतन्य रूपे तत्त्वे तस्मिन् नित्यम् आस्तां रतिर्नः। आनंद तीर्थ नाम सुखमय धाम यतिर्जीयात् संसारार्णवतारिणीं यम यह जनाः कीर्तयन्ति बुधाः भवति विचिन्त्या विदुषां निरवकरा गुरु परंपरां नित्यं एकांतित्वं सीदयति यतोदयति येन हरितोषः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So we have come to the situation where we are discussing this critical point of tatva bheda. So means the bheda is the differences are real. So very important point to consider, especially in the modern context when there is a great push towards equality, whether it is eradication of the caste system or it is the push towards feminism, the push towards democracy, capitalism, communism. Practically so many schools of thought are running all over the world, and the central theme of all these things is what we call equality, considering that everyone is equal. So while it is seems to be a good sentiment to consider everyone equal, whereas there is one main thing where they have all failed. All these schools of thought have failed in one important thing. What they have failed in is that no two entities are equal. Everyone is born different, everyone has a different situation in their life, everyone has different karmas in their life, different situations. So the differences are real. This is the first thing we should understand, and this is a very important thing that Sripad Madhvacharya stressed in his teachings, that there is difference. So when we understand this, a lot of pathway towards devotion starts becoming clear. One may subscribe to the impersonal idea that eventually everything is one. One may subscribe to the Buddhist idea that eventually everything is zero. Whatever it is, none of them seems to create that proper pathway for progress in spirituality. Because somewhere in each of these schools, there is some ego that we are tying up. For example, the feminist movement, where the push is that men and women are equal. So they are not considered as the ones who are complementing each other for progress in spirituality and devotion. They are considered as an equal, challenging each other for the same status. So somewhere it's instead of spiritual, it comes to the material platform where there is a challenge of status. Similarly, democracy, any person is picked up and all of a sudden by winning votes he can become the ruler of the state. So there are certain people who are really qualified for certain positions, though that qualification is not considered in democracy. Similarly, capitalism, any person can pick up anything and start doing business. That is the idea. So the opportunity is given that anyone can do business, and the way they do business, they are free for it. They are free to do it. Similarly, communism is completely against capitalism, but still it has its own speculations. The problem with communism is that there is no question of one is higher and one is lower. Everyone is given the same amount of money. How much ever you work hard, you do big business, or you establish a multi enterprise, everything, eventually the money will be distributed among all. So here the money is distributed among all, and there in capitalism there is freedom to choose the work that you want. In both cases there is a fault. The fault is that you are not considering the situation that people are in, the circumstances they are in, and the product that they have. So neglecting this most important point, they are missing the point. And the root of this problem is the one idea that we and God are the same. You see where it goes to. Men and women are same. Anyone can become ruler of state. Anyone can earn money. Anyone can do business. All should get equal opportunity to do these things. All these things, equality, equality. There is no caste system. There is no Brahmana. There is no Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, no Varnashrama. Everything eventually boils to, why should there be difference between me and God? That is the crux of the matter. Just a minute. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. So the crux of the matter is the understanding, the idea that we and God are equal. So that is a point which we wish to clarify. So this is the last snare of Maya, to consider ourselves to be God and to consider ourselves to be equal to God. So one thing is quite clear, that we are not God, because we are in Maya. We are in illusion, we are conditioned by the modes, we are attracted by the modes, and we are taking repeated birth and death. And every birth we take reminds us of our helpless condition. We cannot choose the family we are to be born in, we cannot choose the situation that we are born in. The most powerful person today will be tomorrow born as a helpless fly, which any lizard can come and just catch. He can't even protest, can't even fight. So that is the power of nature. Karanam gunasangosya satasat yoni brahmashu. Devi esha gunamai mama maya duratya. It's very bad. So this all this powerful ego that strong, extraordinary people will harbor, saying, I am such a great person, I am such a powerful person, I am such a big person, it will all be vanished. The moment we change bodies, such a powerful person will become a helpless fly, a helpless lizard, a helpless ant, a helpless uh, worm, which will just be picked up by another living entity for food and eaten. Finish. So that is the reality. So we are all in Maya, and in Maya we consider that we are God. Prabhupada mentions this in a lecture in 1974. The Mayavadi philosopher says that we are in Maya. As soon as the Maya is taken away, we are God. So we are not God, but we manifest our godly qualities when Maya is taken away. So long as we are covered by Maya, our godly qualities are not manifest, but we are not God. Or you are God, but not that God, that big God, but you are a particle of God. You can say, I am God, but you are not the original chief God. That you are not. That is our philosophy. And that is very genuine. How can I be God? If I am God, then why I have lost my godly qualities? Or why my godly qualities are now covered? This is very common sense. The godly qualities are there, just like a small particle of the spark. It is carbon. When it comes out of fire, then it's extinguished. But if you put again to fire, it's carbon again bright. And similarly, we are part and parcel of God. But if we fall down from the association of God, then we become appearing like material. But we are not material. It appears that extinguished. That is simultaneously achintya, bhedābheda. See, when something is burning, it has red burning charcoal inside. You pick it out and keep it outside. After some time, it starts having ash on top of it, and gradually it will all be extinguished and it will just remain black charcoal. That black charcoal, if you put it back in fire, what happens? Again, it becomes burning. So, similarly, when we are connected to God, we develop godly qualities. We develop the qualities of peacefulness, self control, austerity, intelligence, scriptural knowledge. We develop all these good qualities which are godly. But the moment we disconnect from God, then those qualities are lost. So that is the idea. So we don't become God. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. There is this Brahma Sutra. We will discuss all these things later. But it's mentioned Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. What it means is that you become absolute truth. Means you become spiritual. You don't become God. Because if you become God, that means now you are not God. So now that means that somebody who is not God can become God. Or somebody who is God can become not God. So then what is the fun in liberation? Because even after liberation, there is a very risk that we can again come back to this world. So these are some serious logical flaws in this understanding. Now, Baldev Vidyabhushana uses the 6 steps, Tatparya Lingani, to prove things. What happens is the Nayayika school follows these 6 steps very seriously. Upakrama, Abhyasa, Apurvata, Phala, Arthavada, and Utpatti. So, what they say is first there should be Upakrama, there should be an introduction. Then, whatever is introduced, there should be Abhyasa, there should be a repetition of that. Then, Apurvata, uniqueness of this information has to be conveyed. Then the phala, the result of accepting that. Then arthavada, the glorification, and eventually the utpatti, the reason. Okay, so these are the 6 steps that are to be that have to be discussed. Is what the Nayayika school proposes. So Baldev Vidyabhushana uses that and explains these 6 steps. Firstly, he says in the shloka Dvasaparnas Ayuja Sakhaya. So in the shloka, Upakrama and Upasamahara, the beginning and end must carry the same message. So here it says 2 birds, Dvasuparna, they are on the tree, and one is one is enjoying the fruits, and one is just watching. So the beginning and the conclusion is the same, that living entities and Ishvara are different. Supreme Lord and living entities, they are not the same, they are different. That is the beginning point and the conclusion also. Now this concept is repeated by using the words like anyaha, different. Anyaha means they are different from each other, they are not the same. So the verse clearly mentions that they are different from each other. And apurvata, the singularity, the purport must be something that cannot be known through other means. So one thing is that God, how can there be divisions in the sky? So similarly, there cannot be divisions in God. That is one of the logics. But then that logic doesn't hold true here, because they are eternally distinct from each other. Although the Lord is all pervasive, still he has his energies everywhere, but still each of them is eternally distinct. So that is the apurvata. The phala, the result of knowing this difference between Ishvara and Jiva is that you become free from sorrow, and eventually you go back to the Lord's abode. Vita Shoka Mahimanam Eti. You eventually go to the abode of the Lord and you become free from sorrow. So the understanding of the tatva bheda, understanding that the differences are real, will eventually make you reach the abode of God. Now, the supreme majesty of the infinite supreme Lord is glorified here. Asya Mahimanam. He is praised as the supreme beyond everyone. So that is the Arthavada principle. Similarly, Upapatti, reasoning. Logic is given. So one eats the fruit, other just is fasting, it doesn't eat. So the Supreme Lord doesn't want to enjoy anything of this material world, whereas the living entity tries to enjoy the objects of the material world and suffers. So there is a difference. That is the reasoning. So clearly it's established that living entities and the Supreme Lord are different from each other. The sameness can be understood as the qualitative sameness, just like the ocean. Ocean is having salty water, and there is a spoon of salty water, you take it out from it. It is also having saltiness, the same quality is there. But quantitatively, what damage a ocean can do, the spoon of water cannot do. So quantitatively, there is a difference. So, however, there is a difference in quality. And as long as they are connected, that similarity is manifest. Just like you say, we Indians are one. Whenever there is opposition, somebody attacks, we are all Indians, we are all one, they say. Now, what does it mean? Have you all merged into one person? What does it mean when we say Indians are one?
To be of the
Yes,
same ideology and mindset.
to be of the same
Ideology.
ideology. Yes, that's the point. So we are having same purpose. We are having a common ideology, common purpose. That makes us one. So similarly, the spiritual beings are all one in the sense that they are having a common source, the Supreme Lord. They are servants of the Supreme Lord and they are meant to satisfy Him. Whereas they are not merged into oneness and in such a way that their individuality is lost. That is the critical point we should understand. So achintya bheda abheda tatva has to be clearly understood. Actually, many people are not clear with this concept, and so what is happening is that any confusion comes, Prabhu achintya bheda, we use it very loosely actually. Any confusion comes in philosophy, whether Supreme Lord has created the world or no, whether the Jiva fall down is there or no, whether there is eventually will merge into the Lord or no, eventually when we go to the spiritual world, what will be your position? Any situation that comes which is little complex, what are people say? Prabhu achintya bheda bheda. How many of you have heard this?
Yes, so now it is like synonymous to our ignorance about philosophy.
Sorry?
Now achintya, everything achintya is becoming synonyms of our ignorance of philosophy.
Somewhere,
When
what we are doing is in mathematics, we say, x. So let's say there is x, and then you will derive the x. So similarly, even in our talk, let's say that x person is doing like this. So we don't know who that x person is, but we'll say x person is doing like this, and then gradually we will build a case on that. So similarly, somehow our ignorance, we want to hide it using achintya bheda abheda. Right or wrong?
yes, brother, most of the time.
So there is a need to clearly understand what is achintya, what is bheda, what is abheda. Okay, because the word abheda is allergic to the Vaishnava Vedanta schools, because it's clearly established that there is tatvato bheda. There is a difference between Ishvara and the living entity, and Ishvara and the material world. There is a clear difference. So anyone who advocates clear difference, how can he advocate abheda? Because abheda means then there will be no difference at all. So what we are saying? Are we saying there is bheda in abheda or abheda in bheda or bheda and abheda of somebody else? How are we going to break this word? So
We
that is,
generally give the analogy of the sea and the water, right? So, is that analogy correct?
yeah, this, that is the point we should understand, that in reality there is no abheda, means that it is not that they have merged into one, but
Prabhu,
there
is
is
it
qualitative
Saishnu
similarity.
Abheda?
Yes,
Sometimes we use the word Saishnu Abheda.
bheda.
Saishnu Abheda. Actually, it is Abheda. Most of the time, most of the time it is Bheda. So, but Abheda in the sense because it is Lord's energy, that's why we connect with him in that
Yeah,
way.
we are coming to that
Otherwise,
point. Yes. Yes, yes. So we are coming to that point. So see, we discussed about Pancha Bhedas, the Ishvara Jiva Bheda, Ishvara Prakriti Bheda, then Jiva Prakriti Bheda, Bheda between two Jivas, and Bheda between two Prakritis. These are the Pancha Bhedas, correct? Now, is there a Bheda between two Ishvara forms? We have discussed
No.
this before.
In tatva, no.
No.
Yes, but still there is something that distinguishes one form from the other. Correct?
Yes, the qualities they manifest is different.
Yes.
Yes.
That is Vishesha.
And on strength of what do they demonstrate that?
Vishesha.
Yes, on strength of Vishesha they demonstrate. For example, there is a rose. Rose is red, rose is fragrant. Now this redness and fragrance are the Visheshanas for the rose, are the adjectives for the rose. Now, on what strength is it demonstrating the fragrance, that special quality of fragrance? On the strength of Vishesha Padartha. Similarly, that redness it's manifesting on the strength of the Vishesha concept. Okay. So similarly, Rama Avatara, Krishna Avatara, Narsimha Avatara, Vamana Avatara, they are manifesting themselves on the strength of the Vishesha concept. Otherwise, actually, they are not different. Now, this Vishesha is not just some logical way to convince. Nehana nasti kinchana. There is no difference between the two forms, and somehow we have to convince, so we just use logic, and the logic is Vishesha. Is it like that? It's not just a logical application. It is Vishesha is giving birth to rasas. See how beautiful it is. The queens of Dwarka can openly develop a relationship with Krishna. They talk to him in the open, nobody questions them because they are officially married to them. Nobody can question. Whereas the gopis of Vrindavan, they have to meet in secret because it's Parakiya Rasa. And that secret meeting is possible only in the forest. So, if the Gopi Leela has to happen, the Vishesha form of Gopinath has to manifest. Gopinath cannot be alone. He has to be there with his forest, which is a secret place, and there the gopis are coming and meeting. Whereas the form of Krishna as the husband of goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Natha, that is, or Dwarka Natha, in that form, there has to be so many big palaces, and in each palace, he has to develop relationship with the queen. So the whole Dhama has to manifest. Everything has to manifest for facilitating that Leela. For Narsimha Leela, a different ambience has to manifest, and the Lord has to reciprocate with his devotees in Narsimha Leela accordingly. Similarly, in Varaha Leela, in Matsya Leela, everything has its own speciality. So, how that happens? That Vishesha Padartha, how it happens, that is achintya. That cannot be conceived to our intelligence. So that is one achintya. That how the different leelas are manifest to different devotees. At the same time, his lordness is not reduced. So that is one achintya Shakti. Okay. So is this first achintya Shakti concept clear?
Yes, but Prabhuji, why is it achintya that I don't get?
It is achintya because that how can that one Lord reciprocate with all the devotees so differently, completely opposite? At one place, it is a relationship of marriage, at another place, it is a relationship of a paramour. Completely opposite moods are manifest with different devotees by the same Lord. How it is happening? That is inconceivable. That it cannot be comprehended by us.
Yes.
So somewhere he is having Gopalakas, he is dealing with them in a friendly way. Somewhere with parents in a very reverential way, respectful way. So much difference is there. That is inconceivable. Okay. Now, the relationship between Ishvara and Prakriti, is it different or is it same? Sudhanshu Prabhu brought this point. What do you all think? Is it completely different? Is it completely same? Is it simultaneously same and different? How to explain that? Think. You all can try to think and tell, because our intelligence should also be used in service of the Lord. That is why we are having these subjects of Vedanta here, because our intelligence is corrupt. Lifetime after lifetime, it has been used to serve Maya. It is corrupted. So these courses are meant to purify that intelligence by engaging in service of the Lord. So you can think. What do you think that relationship between Supreme Lord and Prakriti? How is it? Yes. Anybody wants to give a try?
So Bhagwan doesn't directly interact with Prakriti, right?
Correct. So think more. So what does it lead to conclusion?
Can Prakriti be synonymous to Maya or Shakti, or how can we differentiate?
That is also okay. Prakriti is synonymous to Maya. It's a Shakti of the Lord. That is also fine. Is it different from Lord? What do others think?
Uh, it it is both. We can say, like, can the achintya bhedābheda be in Prakriti and the Lord also?
Why do you think achintya bhedābheda is there? Why
Because
is
first
that?
of all, Prakriti
Why?
is Jada, Bhagwan is Chit.
Hmm.
So and she's changing. Bhagwan doesn't change. So those differences can be highlighted.
Yeah, you
And
see, correct what you said. That Prakriti undergoes change. It undergoes decay. It undergoes destruction. So because it undergoes these transformations, it cannot be Brahman. It cannot be absolute truth. Correct. At the same time, uh, in the Upanishads, it is mentioned, Uddalaka mentions to his son Shvetaketu, Eka Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam. By knowing one thing, you should be able to know everything. What is that? That is Brahman. Just by knowing Brahman, you should be able to know everything. So now, so you have to accommodate both these ideas, both these extremes. One thing is that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahma is absolute truth. It doesn't undergo any transformation, any decay, any spoil. So the Prakriti, being Brahman, seems to be ruled out. Now, if we rule that out, then by knowing Brahman, we'll know Prakriti. That concept seems to take a beating. So both these conflicting ideas seem to be clashing. How will you explain that? So Shankaracharya tries to explain it using a concept called Vivartavada. What is Vivartavada? Actually, there is no Prakriti. There is Brahman only. But just that you confuse a rope to be snake, you superimpose a snake on a rope, or you superimpose silver on a shell. Similarly, we have superimposed the world on Brahman. The day Badha is gone, the day knowledge comes, then you will understand, oh, Sarvam Kaluidam Brahman. It was just Brahman only, right? So you will understand that. So that is how he has tried to explain that. But the problem with that theory is that how can something be superimposed on Brahman? If something is superimposed on Brahman, then that means that superimposition is powerful. Then if that is illusory, actually it's not superimposition on Brahman, it's a superimposition on me. But then I am also Brahman only. So if I am Brahman, how can things be superimposed on me, who is also Brahman? So again, it's a problem in theory. So there are serious problems with this understanding. But the problem still remains, we could not explain these two things, how they can be accommodated together. Okay, so this much is understood, the Purva Paksha at least.
Prabhuji, is there any Purva Paksha for the claim that we say about the first thing you said? Um, the first theory which you propagated.
Which one? First theory?
That Maya cannot, like how Brahman, like me being Brahman, how can Maya attack me? So is there any Purva Paksha for that?
Oh, their response you meant to say for this?
Yes.
They give Paramarthika Satta, Vyavaharika Satta, they divide two things. They say that this is just the dealing. They give example that Mayavadi sannyasi is giving class, suddenly a tiger comes and he starts running. So then somebody will say, this is illusion, tiger, why you are running? Then he will respond saying, my running is also illusion.
It happened with Shankaracharya, right? Gajopi mithya, palayanam mithya.
Yes. So they will say Vyavaharika Satta. For dealings of this material world, illusory material world, we are treating it so. Whereas in reality, it is all illusion. Okay. So that is all the topic of Nyayamrita. So that is their response to it. But the thing is, Satya is Satya, whether Vyavaharika or Paramarthika. So when you say something is Satya, do you accept it as real or no? So when it is real, how can it come under illusion? How can that knowledge be Badha? How can that knowledge have a break?
Yes.
So are you
Prabhuji,
actually,
one last
yeah.
question. That Sayujya Mukti is, but like we cannot deny Sayujya Mukti. So in Sayujya Mukti, Jiva and Brahma Abhed happens. So how we will reconcile that?
Actually, Sayujya is a very complex topic. In Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, wherever Acharyas have defined, they have criticized the Sayujya Mukti, wherein the Mayavadis, because Mayavadis basically have taken, what do you say, they have taken the patenting rights of, what is that, Vedanta Sutras. And that's why they were the first to define all these things. So when they first defined Sayujya, it means merging into the Lord. So that was the thing. So later on, who the Acharyas who came, they all attacked that idea that Sayujya means eventually merging with the Lord, which is wrong, which is not what we accept. But there is also a Sayujya, Dvau Suparna, Sayuja Sakhaya. They are Sayuja and Sakhaya. They are together and they are friends. So that type of liberation is also there, where there are togetherness is there. It will be, Madhacharya tries to explain that within the body of the Lord, there will be a specific area designated for his action of service. It is not that he will lose his identity after becoming a part of the Lord. So that type of Sayuja is also there, is what he explains. So it's a complex topic and it may create worries because we see our acharyas criticizing Sayujya, and suddenly if we explain this, then people may oppose it. So, but one thing is there, when they say Sayuja Sakhaya, Upanishad mentions that, so there is a genuine Sayujya also. So that we should understand.
Yes.
Okay, so here the problem still remains that Eka Vijnane Sarva Vijnanam. By knowing one Brahman, you should know everything. That is one thing. And second thing is that, what is that? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. There is no decay. Okay, now, one thing you should understand that by knowing one thing, you can know everything else, even when they are different. How? When mud is used to make pots, and after the pots are made and kept aside, they are burnt and they are ready to be sold. You have a different mud here and you have a different pot there. Once the pots are ready, they are gone, you are using a different mud. It's not that just by knowing a lump of mud, I will get to know all the sizes of the pots and I will know how much they are dried. Sometimes when the pots are not dried, they have to be beaten a little bit to see whether they are properly dried or not. So just by knowing mud, I will not know how much the pots are dried. But I will know that it is a quality of mud, and because of being quality of mud, qualitatively there is similarity, so that it is expected that it will dry soon. So that qualitative similarity I can know. That is the understanding of Eka Vijnanena Sarva Vijnanam. Not that quantitatively it is the same. So things can be different, but have qualitative similarity. So there is no problem in Ishvara and his Shakti being different. So what is explained is the Shakti of Ishvara is getting transformed. Parinamavada. That is called Shakti Parinamavada. The Supreme Lord's Shakti is getting transformed. So that way we are harmonizing that. So the absolute truth is not undergoing decay. Brahman is not undergoing decay, but the Shakti is undergoing a change. Okay, now Madhvacharya presents a clearly dualistic idea, Dvaitavada, that Prakriti is different, Ishvara is different. Whereas some other acharyas in other sampradayas seems to have some sympathy towards how can something be so disconnected from Ishvara that are we saying that it loses its dependence and it becomes independent? Because at least one thing is clear, that everything is dependent on the Supreme Lord. So when something is different, does it mean that the dependence is lost? Does it mean that the transformation does not happen by the will of the Lord? So that is one question. So that is why what they want to say is that that Shakti is also Brahman and it undergoes transformation. So that is what the Gaudiya Acharyas seems to sympathize with, and that is why their thing of Shakti Parinamavada is called achintya bhedābheda. What they say is that at a particular time the logic fails, and we should understand that Brahman is somehow managing the transformation of the world without himself getting decayed. Okay, so till now you have understood. Then I will go further to see whether Madhvacharya has also included this.
Prabhuji, how have they said that Shakti is also equal to Brahman?
Shakti is also?
Is it Shakti is also equal to Brahman?
No, Shakti is not equal to Brahman. Brahman includes Shakti.
Huh.
Brahman is the Shakti is not different from Brahman. Brahman includes Shakti. You cannot say that something is not Brahman. You cannot say that something is not part of the Supreme Lord. So that is where it goes beyond logic, and it gets the whole thing is also part of Brahman only. And that Brahman, which is Shakti, gets transformed, is the idea of achintya bhedābheda.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Dharmeshwar Prabhu, can you ask?
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like we understand that Brahman is changeless and it is Satyamanantam Brahma. So, can like you said, like it can undergo the transformation, but now we see this Prakriti is inferior. So, can this Brahman undergo in such a way? I mean, to that extent of transforming into inferior Prakriti, Prabhuji? Because Brahman is always superior. Now we see this Prakriti, we see the which is the modes of material nature. This is also, one we can say that this is also the Shakti of the Lord. So how can that same Brahman can get transformed into the inferior Prakriti? Will that be possible?
That is the problem that the Dvaita adherents raise. That how can the superior Brahman be inferior Prakriti, which undergoes transformation? That is the problem there is. But the problem that Gaudiya school raises is that how can something be separate from Brahman? Is there a way to accommodate both these ideas? If we crack this code, we have actually understood achintya bhedābheda. Otherwise, we are just trying to play with the words achintya, bhedābheda and trying to do some agenda force. So that is the problem with the two schools. Sudhanshu Prabhu, you wanted to say something before we move and see whether somebody has cracked this code.
Hare Krishna, to actually have a question. The topic is already over, that's why I want to understand.
Sorry,
So
can you be a little loud? Little loud?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhuji, you told before this point that Lord behaves with different devotees differently. So how, but this is inconceivable. But we say in normal life also a person behaves different to a different relatives. So
yeah,
how it's
Vishesha is there in individuals also, but to a limited extent. I mean, you don't change your bring drastic change in your forms. And you cannot simultaneously demonstrate different forms at two different people. When you are in office, you cannot serve the wife. Or when you are with children, you cannot serve in the office. So that is not within our Shakti. Some yogis have achintya Shakti where they can take a few forms, but nothing like the Supreme Lord. That is achintya.
Yes, true. And regarding this, our Dvaita and Gaudiya, so how we, of course, this is the problem, because when we going to change, because world is changing, everybody accepts, and if we have to accommodate it within Advait, because we also believe that there is only one tattva, Vadanti Tattva Tattva, in that sense. So for that, our this Sakti Pranam was Sakti get changed, and since it is Sakti of Lord, so in that sense he is Saktiman. So it is possible that Sakti get transformed, but Saktiman doesn't get transformed in our world also. So for this example, like some person
No,
has
the
some
problem here
corporate.
is Shakti Brahman or no?
It is his Sakti. It is his Sakti.
Yeah, but is it Brahman or no? Or can you say that there are two entities, one is Brahman and one is not?
No, it is Brahman only.
Then how it undergoes transformation?
No, Prabhu. It's Brahman as a Sakti because it is his Sakti, Bhagwan Sakti. So it get energy only get, its Sakti get only transformed.
That agreed, but that transformed Shakti, then it no more remains Brahman because it gets transformed.
Okay, Prabhu. So in that sense, when I think Madhvacharya or some other, when we say Tat Tvamasi, then Tat has all the seven of this our vibhaktis. Tasya is also there. So Tat means Tasya. Right. So it is his energy.
One more thing, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Now,
just
by
a
the
minute.
definition,
Let Sudhanshu Prabhu finish.
Prabhu,
Prabhu, you have anything else, Prabhu, to add?
So, Prabhu, this we understand in this way that since Sakti get transformed, so in that way he doesn't get transformed, and the point, in this world, generally what happens if Sakti is part of something, because we say that this Bahiranga Sakti is not part of Krishna, and since it's not part of Krishna means not part of his Swarupa. So if we say that since he is not part of Swarupa, Bahiranga get only transformed, but at the same time, since it is related to him, so it is getting transformed, and still Brahman is not getting transformed. That's why it is called achintya, because now something is getting over.
That is how the Gaudiya schools explain it. Okay, that is the majority of translations that I have seen, not the original Bhedābheda devotion works, but the translations that I have seen in Hindi and English, all explain it this way. But somehow this seems to give a message that I don't know it. It is not fitting in my logic. That's why I am putting it as achintya.
So Prabhu, sir, for this, I think G. Goswami gives the definition of achintya. That achintya means, I think, it is given in Shastra, because both things are given in Shastra. But since both things are given in Shastra, so it is possible. But since the human mind, we can't understand it, so we accept it is possible. But since it is not conceivable to human mind, that's why we say achintya.
Yes. Anything else? Dharmeshwar Prabhu, you are trying to say something?
Yes, Prabhu, the question what I asked. So how this inferior Prakriti, the same Brahman, can get transformed into inferior Prakriti? How we can accommodate that? And at the same time, another follow-up question is, if, by the definition, Brahman is changeless. So now this transformation is happening. Is it like both seem to be contradictory? If something is changeless, how it can get into how it can
Yes.
transform into something else?
That is the matter of contention now. That is the matter of confusion now. And to solve this confusion, majority of these things, schools, they try to use the word achintya. Achintya means I do somehow it is not conceivable to human logic as to how simultaneously Prakriti is changing and Brahman is not changing. Okay. So
Hare Krishna Prabhu. For
the
this, I just
question
remember
is why this was not accommodated by previous acharyas, especially Madhvacharya, who is the acharya of the same parampara.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
You can tell us better for this. But what I once I studied this part, like in Nyaya also, when we connect something, like when we connect, I will explain in English, like some monkeys on the tree. So we say monkeys on the tree by the relation, it is on top, it is on the tree. But it is not on the tree if we take relation with the jada. मतलब अधिकरण what we say अधिकरण sorry आधे and आधार संबंध. So in the same way this problem we can understand, but what problem happens when we take tree as a whole, because we take Brahman as a whole. So that's why the problem from Madhvacharya's this came. In Nyaya it will not fit. So that's why they went for the way we said that it is achintya, and they take it as an advaita. They differentiated completely the top part, like up tree and root of the tree. They take it at different. We took that it is same, but since in Nyaya it happens, but in our worldly, we can explain in this way. But since in our mind it is not possible when we take as a whole, whole tree. Similarly, when we take as a whole everything as a Brahman, then its part is getting transformed.
The monkey is also a tree. You should not think that monkey is also part of the tree only. So when that relationship comes, then it's sitting on the tree doesn't remain valid anymore. That is your explanation, correct?
Yes. Overall, when we take overall tree, then we cannot say. So here when we take, first we say that it is Krishna's energy, then it is possible, or Brahman's energy.
No,
but when we take whole Brahman, then it is
to make it, because it is getting decayed, because it is getting transformed, you must give scope to keep it somewhere outside of Brahman. That is the problem. You must give some place outside Brahman to keep it, because it undergoes a decay or transformation. That is the problem here. Okay. Tanvi Mataji, you want to add something to it?
Then, Prabhuji, how Advaites will define that there is everything is a part of the Supreme Lord. So, if they will say that there is only Bheda, then they can't define that it's a part of the Supreme Lord.
That is the confusion we also have. How will they define it? Because then the disconnect, it will get disconnected from Supreme Lord. That is the problem. Good, good. You are thinking. Mataji, can I know your name?
Vasundhara Mataji. Sorry, Prabhuji, I will rename.
Yeah, no problem, Mataji. It's a good point, actually. Thank you. Yes. Anyway, Mataji, you want to add something? Okay.
Hare
So,
Yeah,
yes.
sorry. Yes, I wanted to add the same thing. You can continue, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, Madhacharya has cracked this problem. I will explain it to you. So, a father, he is organizing a birthday party, a big birthday party for his wife, and the children are there. So what he does is he engages the children, saying, "You bring this, you bring the cake, you bring the garlands." Traditionally, there might not be cake; there might be some malpuas or some sweets. You bring this thing, you arrange all these things. He is engaging all of them. 60 Purti, maybe 60 years birthday is arranging. So children are grown up. So some will be cooking, some will be cleaning the house, some will be bringing garlands and decoration and everything. And father is also moving around. Children are doing. So then eventually the birthday party happens. So who have worked on the ground? It is the children who have worked on the ground. Now, children who have done all the work, but the inspiration is the father. The drive is the father. The giving of money is through the father. Everything is through the father, and the groundwork is done by children. The guests who come, what will they say to the father? You have organized a wonderful party. The work is done by children, everything is organized, but the father is getting the credit. You organized the party, wonderful party. So, Pitruvat, the word used by Madhacharya in Anuvakyan, he says, like a father, if you say that just like a father organizes the program, he is the main drive. Similarly, if the Supreme Lord can enter each atom of Prakriti and energize it to act, in a way that the Prakriti acts. So that way, the energizer is the Supreme Lord only, just like Father energizes the children. The energizer is the Supreme Lord, but the decaying Prakriti is still different. Just that the Lord has entered it, himself not getting affected, but he is driving the Prakriti for transformation. How he is doing that, that may be inconceivable, but still, it is not that the Ishvara becomes Prakriti. He is like the father who is driving it by entering into it. So, with this understanding, the Shakti Parinamavada can be accommodated. It's not that the Shakti somehow becomes Brahman. Was this understandable, or you want me to explain it better?
Prabhuji, but if Bhagwan is entering Prakriti, why is it decaying?
No, Bhagavan is, the nature of Prakriti is decay. It is different from Brahman. It is getting decayed because it's different from Brahman. Just that it has to get into action. No? The motor has to start. So because it has to get into action, that is possible only through the spiritual energy. So the Bhagwan has to enter it to get it into action. So that is the understanding.
So can we say that Bhagwan is doing karma simultaneously not doing karma?
Bhagwan has no karma to do. Bhagwan just performs his pastimes, and the making the Prakriti work is also part of his pastime to reclaim the conditioned souls back.
Yes.
Is this clear? So the achintya bhedābheda is on some solid grounds. It should not be confused. Many times when we have past impersonal ideas and we read these theories, we tend to bring those impersonal ideas here and we try to explain these things that no, Prakriti is also Brahman. Material nature is also Ishvara. And because material nature is also Ishvara, everything is actually Ishvara. And then there is some Abhedatva. Then we might bring other ideas that Abhedatva is just for, Bhedatva is just for dealings with the world. We might bring such ideas. Some people even try to explain that there are Bheda Shrutis, there are Abheda Shrutis, and somehow Achintya Bheda Abheda accommodate both this. There is no Acharya who has mentioned this point that Achintya Bheda accommodates both the Bheda and Abheda Shrutis. Our Acharyas have not explained it that way. The Achintyatva lies only in the Parinamavada, that how the material world is getting transformed. Is it different from Brahman or no? So it is definitely different from Brahman, but just that Brahman is setting it into action. So that is where how the Brahman sets the world into action without himself undergoing transformation. As Paramatma, he enters each atom and makes it move. That is the inconceivable thing. Is this clear?
Is it a lot hearing like Sankhya also, Rishabh?
Sankhya, there is a problem with the Sankhya. They accept Parinamavad, they don't accept Ishvara. What they accept, okay, they say that some Ishvara is there, but then Prakriti is independently undergoing transformation, not connected with the Ishvara. That is where their problem is.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Of course, here the point is of the Swatantra Karta, and one is getting affected by that. Prakriti is getting influenced. It is acting under Lord. But Prabhu, we in saying Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna himself says, Mad Yonir Mahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadhanim Aham. So he himself uses the word Brahma for the Prakriti. Every
Amayoni
explaining
Mahad
this beyond
Dharma.
that.
This Prakriti is coming through me. That he says. So definitely Prakriti is coming through the Supreme Lord. There is no question about that. And it is connected to him. That is also there. But that doesn't mean that somehow or the other that Prakriti becomes Brahman. It undergoes transformation, it undergoes decay, so it has to be in a position that is separate from Brahman. But it is dependent.
No, I'm telling that in our scriptures also, in we all when we say Vaishnava and both Advaitis both accept that Brahman is also word used for the Prakriti. Here, like in this case.
Can you tell me the shloka?
Lord Krishna.
It is also told that Brahman is unmanifested form, Mahatattva, unmanifested form of Prakriti, like that, and then it becomes manifest when the Lord
That I explained yesterday, that just like a bird enters the forest, then when you point out, the bird is no more seen. But just because it is not seen anymore doesn't mean it has merged with the forest. It is doing some business inside the forest. But when you point the finger, you just see the forest. Similarly, when the unmanifestation takes place, when the manifestation is gone, that Prakriti somewhere goes inside the Brahman. And nobody will be able to see it. That is the idea. You know the shloka of Mama Yoni Mahat Brahma?
I'm searching, Prabhu.
13th chapter, is it? 14.3, my son says, let me see. Mama Yonir Mahat Brahma, yes. Tasmin Garme Dadamiham. Mama Yoni Mahat, the total material existence. Supreme. The total material substance called Brahman is a source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible birth of all living entities, O Shine of Bharata. Yeah, so this is an explanation of the world. Everything takes place due to the combination of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. The body and the spirit soul, the combination of material nature and living entity is made possible by Supreme Lord himself. The Mahat Tattva is the total cause of total cosmic manifestation and the total substance of material cause, in which there are three modes, is sometimes called Brahman. Okay, the Mahat Tattva is sometimes called Brahman. The Supreme Personality impregnates the total substance, and thus innumerable universes become possible. The total substance, Mahat Tattva, is described as Brahman in Vedic literature. Tasmat etam Brahmanam Rupam Kannam cha Jayate. The Supreme Person impregnates the Brahman. Okay, why is it called Brahman? We will see. Okay, The total material substance, Mahat Tattva, is described as Brahman in the Vedic literatures. Okay, that is over. The Supreme Lord impregnates the Brahman with the seeds of living entities. The 24 elements beginning from earth, water, fire, air, material energy, and they constitute what is called Mahat Brahma, or the great Brahman, the material nature. Okay, as explained in the 7th chapter. Beyond this, there is another superior nature, the living entity. Into the material. See, sometimes for language sake, the word Mahat Brahma is utilized for Prakriti also. If you see the purport, you will understand it. Sometimes for communication in the Vedic literature, Brahman is utilized for Prakriti. But that doesn't mean that it becomes the Parabrahman, the supreme absolute, which is nirvikara or unchangeable. Okay, it is used contextually. In a particular context of describing Prakriti, it is used as Brahman. Just like the Chaturmukha Brahma, that's a different thing, but he is a person, he is a Chaturmukha Brahma, but he is not the Brahman. Here, Napunsaka Shabda Brahman is there. That Napunsaka Shabda Brahman is generally used for the absolute truth which doesn't decay. But Vedas sometimes use Prakriti also as Brahman. But that Brahman doesn't become the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Is that clear?
Yes, true. That's why when we take Brahmeti Paramatma Bhagwan iti, so when we take it Brahma as Bhagavan, with when it doesn't show its qualities.
Yeah, but some
it is hiding its
transcendentalists just are satisfied with Brahman understanding. So that's okay. Okay then. So we will close here. You all kindly think on this more, because the Chintanam is essential. That is where we will be progressing more on this. There are going to be some arguments that we are going to deal with. The impersonalist schools have many arguments as to why they want to establish the theory of oneness. So these arguments and how they are demolished by Baldev Vidyabhushana, we will discuss next week. And once that is done, this topic will be over. Then we will see the Jiva Hare Anuchara, how everyone is the servant of Supreme Lord. That will be the next. Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes,
just Prabhu, 1 minute. So can you give some reference or something, because now we have time. So what is Madhvacharya views on this whole topic? So we can read it and understand.
Sorry. Reference you want?
Reference or books or matter.
Yes, I will.
So
I will message you the Anuvekhana verse. You
by
can read that, and the Sudha verse. You can read that. It will be clear. Because I don't remember it. It's not in my mouth, but I have written it, documented it. I will message the verse in the group. You can study that.
Okay, Prabhu. Because we know only Gaudiya's how, because this is the problem
what I
with every
understood.
Vedanta.
Yes. So if we study, that's why we should develop the habit of studying the Moola, the original Sanskrita. The traditional, now we are reading translations, but if we can master Sanskrit, the whole purpose you are going through this Gaudiya Vaishnava Darshana course also, you are supposed to have some good proficiency in Sanskrita very soon. So the idea is that we should read the Moola. We should get the habit of reading the original Sanskrita more than translation, because translation, the author can put the translator can put some of his ideas there.
Or in a generally example of fire and its heat and light is taken, or sun and its rays and it is taken. These are some examples. And in that we very easily see this thing, that energy is working and energy is doing its work. Still, when we can say also that it is because of heat. At the same time, it is not because of heat. But the problem comes when
that is there. So
problem happens.
Qualitative similarity is there. So material world also has qualitative similarity with the Lord. Some qualitative similarity is there, that it exists. But at the same time, there is difference also.
Yes.
But Madhva doesn't accept that.
Sometimes Lord also works like he.
Mataji,
In
just
case
a minute,
of fire,
I will listen
in
to you.
case of fire, we see that when its heat is going somewhere, but fire per se, its name, it's not going that place. But in case of Lord, he's by Swarupa, he's
See, why
also
this
all
problem
pervasive.
comes? I will explain you why this problem comes. You see, solid matter, when it attaches to each other, let's say on table you have kept a laptop, so it is a solid matter cognition, they are meeting in a solid way. Still little subtle, like water, liquid, two liquids are there, two liquids are meeting, so they get mixed up. Similarly to gases, when they are meeting, they further get mixed up. Now something more subtle than that, fire. Now we are giving example of fire, right? Fire and sparks of fire. So that is subtle, but still their connection is there. Now sky is even more subtle. The absolute truth, Parabrahma, is even more subtle. So how that absolute truth is meeting Prakriti, we cannot conceive it. Fire and rays, how they are meeting, we can at least see it. Whereas the different Akasha parts, how they are meeting, we can't even see it. It is not even conceivable to us. Now, Parabrahman and Shakti, how it is meeting, it is even more inconceivable. Just to understand on our level, some level of example is given. At least through sight, we can understand rays and sun are meeting, or rays and fire are meeting. At least some level we can understand. That is why we gave this example.
Yes, Prabhuji. That Parabrahma is entering in every item, na Prabhu?
Yes. Vasundhara Mataji, can you say you are trying to say something?
Yeah, I was saying like the qualitative similarity which is given in Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, that is not accepted by Madhvites, right? Qualitative similarity of between Jiva and Ishvara, or Prakriti and Ishvara.
That is accepted. Otherwise, they would not be able to explain this pot example. Eka Vijnanena Sarva Vijnana. By knowing one, you will know everything else. So, when Madhacharya explains that, by knowing mud, how will we know pot? Because there is quality similar. Mud is supposed to dry after some time. Similarly, pot will also dry after some time. Mud and pot have similar qualities. So, similarity is accepted, no doubt about that.
Okay, Pravi. For Madhvites, like what the Mool Granthas they are referring, if you can send those sites or those copies, then it will be helpful.
For this section, for this point, which section is referred to, I can send that section to you. I actually, why I'm able to speak, because last week in Mysore, I gave a paper and this was my topic, a synthesis of Tattvavada and achintya bhedābheda. This was my topic. So I made this paper. So my paper also I'll share with you, and those sections of the Grantha also I'll share.
Sure, Prabhuji, it will be very helpful.
So,
Wonderful, Prabhuji. You have appeared in that. That was in Mysore. In that there is one Dvait Vedanta. This particular is there, something in Mysore. So there you attended.
they